Now, the thing about fashion is there's always so many fashion do's and don'ts, tons of rules. And I have to admit, I don't really believe in all of that, because I think what makes fashion so interesting is people who break those rules. That's what true style really is. Having said that, there are guidelines to make outfits look a little bit more polished, a little bit chicer. And today we're talking about volume, especially when it comes to volume in the bottom. Balloon pants, wide leg linen pants, for instance. I want to give you a couple of ideas and guidelines to make it easier, using myself, of course, as a model. All right, starting with outfit number one. As you can see, I've got these wide leg linen pants in this cherry red color with this little cotton shirt, which has a seam just underneath the breast line. So I'm gonna call this a princess seam. Okay. For me, this outfit doesn't really work. There's too much volume. It looks heavy. It looks like I'm getting dragged down, and it's just simply not very attractive. However, I do like this combination because sometimes we do want to wear things that are a little bit more volume, especially in the summertime when it's so hot. You don't really want anything tight to the body. And I feel like somebody my size and somebody who's petite can use this trick. It's super easy. I simply swapped out those longer cherry red linen pants for a wide leg linen pant in black that are cropped. I added in a pointy little slide shoe. And what this does is the shoe, because it's pointy, elongates the leg, but also showing the ankle and a bit of the beginning of my leg makes me look taller, makes me look longer, makes me look leaner than the first outfit. This is a really easy trick that anybody can do. If you are petite, let's say, and like this idea, you can do a cropped pant that is still a wide leg, but maybe a little bit thinner in the leg, and doing something that's a little bit shorter on top. All of these things really depend on what your body type is, but these are good little tricks to play around with so that you can figure out what really works for you. Okay. Next thing I wanted to show you were going back to those cherry red wide leg linen pants, but doing them with a top that is cropped. It's a little bit boxy still, just because this is my style and I feel good in it, but because it's shorter, actually what happens here is the wide leg becomes the star of the show. The crop is just underneath my natural waistline, so it has a nice balance between top and bottom. And these pants, because they are so wide, the volume just works. It's not overwhelming here. It's a nice balance between top and bottom. And this actually makes me look like I have a really nice long leg. I've paired it with a simple sandal, and that's it. I can do this same idea in a little sweater if I wanted, again, using a crop. And this is the kind of thing that's nice to have in one's wardrobe, because sometimes we end up having some things that are a little bit short. Pairing them with a wide leg pant is always going to work, especially one that is high-waisted. Okay, I wanted to give you an example of what does not work. And here I've paired this linen dress shirt that is quite long with a 3/4 sleeve, same sandals, and the same pants. This looks awful, in my opinion, on me. It looks unattractive. It looks too big. I'm getting swallowed up in this outfit as opposed to really making it work. And like I said, there are no rules here. So why can't I wear a big, long linen shirt with a wide leg pant? Well, I can, but there's a few things to keep in mind. First of all, what I did was I rolled up that sleeve. I feel like showing more of my arm makes it look a lot more deliberate, and showing more of my arm just makes it more attractive. Then I unbuttoned the shirt a little bit, as you can see, and I slightly put the collar up. I also unbuttoned the shirt at the bottom so that we could see more of the leg and it almost becomes a crop. Here, this really works. It feels really comfortable. And I feel like for those people out there who are really tall, this is a great trick. If you are petite and want to do the same idea, simply completely unbuttoning that shirt and tying it in a little knot right at the waist really works. Underneath, I've got a tank and it just tightens the whole thing in. So the proportions now are equal and balanced. Okay, did the same idea here. Have one of my favorite shirts, and it is again quite long. Pairing it with these cherry red wide leg linen pants looks frumpy. I look shorter than I am. I find it just it doesn't emphasize any great quality. But to create a little bit more balance and to make this work, I've simply tucked it in, and I've just done that half tuck. So it's not tucked in the back, it's just tucked in at the front. It feels really comfortable. Again, all of a sudden, my leg looks really long, so the balance is there. Okay, next up, similar idea, doing this long dress shirt, because sometimes we like to play around with being a little bit deliberate with proportions, which I really love when it comes to fashion, because I feel like those are the outfits that become really quite chic and really quite fashion forward. So here I've got on another striped shirt. I'm realizing how many I own. Oops. Anyway, I buttoned it all the way up to the top. It's quite voluminous. It feels quite big. And this is the kind of thing that paired with the wide leg pants, again, is unattractive. The balance is not here. It's not flattering for my figure. However, if I change this around a little bit, then it becomes deliberate. I've unbuttoned the top buttons. I've unbuttoned quite a few of the bottom buttons. As you can see, they're unbuttoned all the way to the waist. So all of a sudden, there's movement here, there's a balance created. And then I added in a necklace to make this outfit look like I was doing this on purpose, not like I just grabbed a bunch of things and threw them on. I think this is actually quite chic. For me, it feels really comfortable. And if you are somebody who is petite, or if you are somebody that is quite tall and quite big, this is a great trick because it's almost like a trompe l'oeil. It almost tricks the eye into sort of wondering what is going on, what are the proportions here. If you are quite tall and quite big, then you could do also leaving the dress shirt all the way open with a tank top underneath and it becomes kind of like a jacket. Or if you are quite petite, we go back to that same trick where we do a pant that's still wide leg, but cropped, same accessories, same look, but all of a sudden there's a little bit more balance because we see more of my leg. Another thing to try here, again, defining the waist, so this is gonna work for all body types, is either introducing a belt or this fun scarf trick, which I personally am loving this summer. I think it's so fun and it adds in another color, another element, feels extremely comfortable, and I feel like it looks really chic. As you can see, the shirt is unbuttoned, so we actually see more of the pant, which creates a longer looking line. Okay. So here I've got on these balloon pants with this cute little frilly linen top that I'm in love with. And actually, the way this is as is kind of works, but I feel like it could be better. I feel like it's not 100% flattering for my figure. So the simple half tuck trick by tucking in the shirt right at the front, leaving it kind of dangling out at the back, all of a sudden makes the leg look so long, look much leaner. And because I'm defining my waist here, there's a balance in proportion from top and bottom. In this outfit, same balloon pants, and I decided to add in a dress shirt in linen. And I wanted you to see in a few different styles, simply because there's a few things here that do work. First of all, wearing it naturally, not tucked, no accessories, just simply actually really works. And the reason why this works is the proportions work here because there's a balance between the top and the bottom. Even though we're not totally seeing my waist, it still proportionally works because this shirt has a little bit of a shape to it. The waist is naturally defined in the cut of this shirt, and that's why it works. But again, I can do the half tuck and I feel like this looks fantastic. Slightly tucked in on one side. Again, my leg looks long and the proportions are not at all competing. But I can also take this same idea and really define my waist with doing a belt around my natural waist, almost even a slightly a little bit higher. And this creates kind of a peplum look. This is a great idea. You can do this with a t-shirt that's big and boxy. You can do this with a dress shirt and a skirt if you wanted. For those of you who are petite, this is a great way to kind of define your waist and have our eye drawn to the smallest part of you. I think this looks really chic. It's really easy to do and is really comfortable. I have tons of videos on how to style belts, so you can check that out if you want to deep dive into this subject. Okay, lastly, I just wanted to say there is a little bit of a rule of thumb for volume on the bottom, and that's definitely doing something that's a little bit tighter on top. Really, really easy. It's probably the simplest thing in terms of making proportions work. And this goes for a really big baggy jean. This goes for a really big billowy skirt, anything really. Again, this is just a rule of thumb. This is not necessarily a hard, fast rule. And this is something that you can take away and just think, okay, this is a good little trick to play around with, whether you're doing it with a short skirt or a really big voluminous pair of shorts, for instance. This is going to work always, doing something kind of tighter on top and big and billowy on the bottom. So that is it, my lovelies. I hope this got you inspired and thinking and wanting to try some looks. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Let me know your favorite outfit, which one you liked the best, or which one surprised you. I would love to hear it in the comments. For more style inspiration, to see more of what I'm up to, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and check me out on Substack. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already.